Well, it's time for our weekly discussion with reporter Christine Byers, who writes the Byers Beat column for KSDK.com, bringing context to our area's biggest public safety stories.
And this week, she is here to tell us about what the Attorney General and St. Louis Circuit Attorney are saying in their final pleas to a St. Louis judge about the Lamar Johnson case. Thanks for joining us. Can you give us just a quick background on the case?
Sure. So this involves a 1994 murder of a man named Marcus Boyd in the city of St. Louis. Lamar Johnson was convicted of that crime, and in December, Kim Gardner, St. Louis Circuit Attorney, asked a St. Louis judge to overturn his conviction, and she says he's innocent, and the Missouri Attorney General thinks that the conviction should stand.
So we've got final motions. What's in these final motions?
So in these final motions, this is the last time that that both sides get to go to the judge and say this is why we think this should be the outcome. These are hundreds of pages long, and in this, in the Attorney General's motion, he filed it just 2 days ago. He focused on rebutting three key arguments that Gardner's office made in favor of Johnson's innocence. One is that the real killer is a man named James Howard, and that the man who witnessed Boyd's murder recanted his identification, and that Johnson's alibi is solid.
So here's the question. Does Kim Gardner plan to file charges against James Howard since he is admitting he was the one who killed the man?
And it's interesting that you bring that up because the judge from the bench asked Kim Gardner that exact question during this hearing and said, well, now that we've heard from this man, what do you plan to do about this? She said that it was under review, but the Attorney General spent a lot of time in this final motion entered this week poking holes into that man as a suspect, saying that he's already in prison for another murder, so he kind of doesn't have too much to lose here. He is significantly shorter than the eyewitness described as the suspect in this case, and that he boasted that his MO for killing his victims that he's been convicted of killing was a gunshot to the back of the head. Marcus Boyd was shot in the back of the neck.
So where do we go from here? What's next?
So the judge now has a lot of reading to do, hundreds of pages like I mentioned, and he basically has now an unlimited amount of time to make a determination, but you can find the cliff notes to those hundreds of pages in my Byers Beat column, which we'll post online tomorrow at KSDK.com.
It really is a fascinating story.
It really is.
Christine, thanks.
Thanks for